Welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Hello there, sir. Oh, I forgot to turn. Oh, there's a huge echo also.
Oh,
Yeah, that was my fault. Um, so Nate, you're there, correct?
yes, I am here.
Okay. I was hearing all this weird stuff, this echo,
Oh,
if you will.
fun. I wonder if producer Todd will be joining us to give us the A-OK on our sound, but
Yeah.
we will
Go
move
ahead and introduce the
forward.
show while I turn off some
Turn
sound.
off some extra things. Oh, yes. Uh, Todd, producer Todd, has entered the building. LOL, you just had Nate's echo effect on,
I
but I
did.
can see and hear you both.
Yeah, that was one thing. And then I'm using Jump Desktop to view the video on the web.
Oh, yes,
And oh, I should switch to
to
our main
both of
feed here.
us.
Yeah, um, that's what I meant to switch to begin with. Uh, the joys of live video. We had this all planned out. Everything was perfect, and then my Jump Desktop computer started echoing back on top
Oh,
of your
nice.
Echo, and then I was like, I
Echoes
can't do
on
anything.
echoes.
Yeah.
That's how we
So we're
like it.
back now. I kind of feel like I want to shut it off and start it over again, but that's not how we do things here on
No.
the Not Nerd podcast. And Nate, I made an association earlier that I think we need to talk about.
Yes,
404, file not found. This is episode 404.
it
Podcast
is.
not found. Maybe we're going to delete it off the internet once we're done
Yes,
recording.
exactly. Yeah, we'll just put up a black video and file not found.
Yeah,
If only we would have thought of that earlier, we wouldn't have to set everything up and we could have just rolled with it and gone with a blank episode.
yeah. Well, it's going to be a good one now that I have my stuff together. It's one of those things. It feels like it's almost been a week since we've done this.
Yeah, it
So
does seem that way. It's
you
weird how
forget
that works.
you forget things. Wouldn't it be crazy if we did a podcast every day? We'd be
Phew.
professionals.
Oh, I mean, Adam Carolla, he actually went down to 4 days a week of his show, but he did 5 days a week for years and years and years. And of course, he's got a production team and
Well, when you
all
do
that good
radio,
stuff.
you're
But
used to it.
yes, yeah, the radio world. But even he is slowing down a tad with his podcasting.
Yeah,
But, well,
true.
it is Labor Day, so in honor of that, today
Mm,
I picked this hat out, a Toys R Us trucker hat,
very
because the
nice.
Toys R Us employees are not working and they took Labor Day seriously for a couple years now. Hopefully they found other jobs, but no, I was going through some hats and thought I'd bust out the Jeffrey the Giraffe
I believe
from
that's right.
but this, I believe I purchased this hat on eBay after Toys R Us went after business. So
Mm.
this is not vintage. It is a reprint if
Oh,
these existed before. So,
mm.
but I tell you, I started going through some boxes of hats when I was looking for the Maui one, and I have got some gems. So for the next 404 episodes, I might have enough trucker hats to do a new one each week.
There's some little kid out there who's like, I knew it. I knew I wasn't weird to collect ball caps
Yeah.
because you're kind of validating the whole
Yes,
idea of
that's my
collecting.
goal, validating collections of nearly worthless items.
Yeah,
That's how I do it.
that's how you roll.
Yes, and I also do it talking about technology, so let us get into some follow-up.
Let's do it.
And a programming note, next week is the Apple event at, I believe, 10 a.m. Pacific from Apple Campus on Tuesday mornings. So Tuesday the 12th, we haven't discussed it, but I'm guessing we'll do like the last one and go live shortly after the Apple event. This is the iPhone, Apple Watch, who knows what else we
And
will see there, but it is kind of the big dog of the year, the new iPhones. People are excited about that.
so to follow up on that programming note, so we're not going to go live on Monday. and
No,
do
we will
Tuesday?
not.
Or
Yes,
okay, we're
which
not
is
going to do both.
a great reminder that on YouTube, you should subscribe and then hit that little bell so that you'll get a notification whenever we go live,
Just
usually Monday
whenever.
nights. But
Maybe
uh,
there will be a Dave Plays Games coming out. Maybe there will
oh,
be
yeah,
a live product review. I actually bought a product last night that came in today, and I was like, I should do a product review, but then I'm like, I don't want to film it and edit it, and I'm like, well,
yes.
maybe I'll do a live
Just do
product
them
review.
live reviews, yeah. And we
Yeah.
actually, I'm hoping this week a video that Yumi and Wes made many
Mm,
moons ago. We are finally going to release that, and more on that later. We teased it. I think it was last November. We teased this video, but a
that's
long,
exciting.
strange trip that video has been on, and will hopefully be released. So yeah, we really need to put out more videos, and so we need you to bother us. And a great way to bother us is by subscribing, commenting, liking, and getting on the live stream and complaining about us not making more videos.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes. And of kind of a follow-up on that from CNBC, iPhone 14 Pro Max tops global smartphone shipments as people shun budget phones for top-end devices. So
Yeah, it's a
this year, the 14 Pro Max, the most expensive of the Apple phones, has taken the crown of any phone model.
wow. That's great. And I was giggling there because my screen size was super
Yes.
small for some reason. But that's okay. Yes. I mean, what did we expect? Uh, People are using their phones more and more as computers. And if you buy the $1,000 version, it's every bit as fast as your computer. You can do everything you want to do on it. You can connect back to a real computer like I do. I mean, it's very capable. So I'm just waiting for them to get a folding phone where I can have my tablet slash my phablet or whatever that
Yes.
runs iOS and I'm good to go. So I'm one of these people where it's like, I really should be buying a cheaper phone, but I want a more expensive one because they're more capable. So
Yeah.
that's where I
Yeah.
land.
And this information came from Omdia's smartphone model market tracker 2Q23 report, which tracks sales of different models of phone. Apple accounted for all four of the top shipping models, with the iPhone 14 coming in third, and the iPhone 13 selling 15.5 million units. I'll close the ad pop up there. Thank you, CNBC. Last year, the iPhone 13 was the best-selling device. So this year, it's the Pro Max, which is considerably more expensive than the base model
Hmm.
iPhones, and a lot of phones out there. And then further down the article, it says the Samsung Galaxy A14 was the fifth best-selling phone in the first half, shipping 12.4 million units. So,
And there's rumors that only the biggest, baddest iPhone will have the new camera improvement. And if that's the case, expect the 15 Pro Max Ultra Biggin
yeah.
to be the number one seller also.
Yeah, it would definitely, if the Max has the better camera than the 15 Pro, I will most likely go back to the Max size phone just because I want that best camera. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
and we talk domain names every once in a while, and the headline of this article from Bloomberg, the tropical island with the hot domain name.
You know, I,
And
I never even thought of this. I looked at this article and I was like, oh, of course. Why didn't I think about
yeah,
this?
yes, so Anguilla is expected to make millions this year from a surge in demand for web addresses ending with .ai, thanks to the frenzy around artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So it's a tropical British territory in the Caribbean with coral reefs and white sand beaches. Now it's known because it has the .ai, and wasn't too long ago there was one of the countries in Africa and all the They were spoofing government. It was like .su or something close to .gov or something like that. We
Hmm.
had a story on a while back. My memory is escaping me at the moment, but my favorite though is the African country of Djibouti, which I just love the African country Djibouti, who has .dj.
Oh boy.
But I don't think they sell a lot of the .dj domains,
Hmm.
which is sad.
That's a fun name though.
Yes, Djibouti. And if you want to lock in that domain name, WordPress now has 100-year domain registration option.
Yeah, I saw this.
100 years.
I saw this and I was a little. There's a mosquito in here. I'm sorry. Um, I was like, well, this is kind of a good thing because uh, maybe I want to get DaveBaylor.com or DavyB.net and just do it for 100 years. I'm like, well, if it's like $18 times 100, blah blah. Oh, but no, no, no.
No, no, no.
Tell us what it's going to cost as I get the article up here.
Its new 100-year plan is designed to give users the ultimate security and longevity for their digital presence at a cost of 38,000 with a T dollars, working out at $380 per year of the plan,
Yeah, that's just
which
ridiculous.
you're usually in the $15 a year ballpark instead of $380. So
Yeah,
I did,
$38,000.
and I mean,
Crazy.
domain names didn't even exist 100 years ago. So where we're going to be 100 years in the future, but it does have other features as well, such as multiple backups of content across geographically distributed data centers, unmetered bandwidth, and personalized 24/7 support. So it also comes with web hosting, which again, in 95 years, what is web hosting going to look like?
Who
Come on.
knows? That's why
Come
they're
on.
charging so much because they know it's not going to be a thing.
Yes. And
Our video
producer
was
Todd
lagging a
did
little bit.
say,
Yeah.
yeah, but it looks like we're back on. I will check again. Backblaze was trying to back up my entire computer again. I do not have any activity, but the stream wouldn't be affected by my internet connection. Just my mug
Yeah,
would be
it might be
affected.
me. It's probably me. I got lots
Yes.
of
Well,
things going on.
you know what's definitely you. Dave's pro tip of the week.
Yes. And we're going to try something new here today.
Yes.
Well, I mean, kind of new. I've done it before, but oh, look, we have our overlay now. And
Yes. Yes.
please let us know if it's not coming up for you on the web. But look, I can now show you my iPhone tip of the week right here. And I hope nothing personal comes up like, oh, a message from my doctor. We're going to have to
Yes.
remove parts of you or something. So, so, so here we are. The tip of the week is, I often find uh, when I go to use an app, it's not there. It's been archived and I have to download it, and it's always at an inconvenient time. Now, we've talked in the past about creating an optimization so that your iPhone will offload or your iPad will offload applications that you haven't used in a long time. It'll save your data, it won't delete anything, but it offloads, and then when you want it, it downloads it again. And this is great if you like take a lot of video and you run out of room, it can get rid of all those apps. But like me, when you take a lot of video, uh, all the time, hardly any of your apps are there. And so you go to use one and it's like, oh, I'm in the middle of the airport or something and I want to download an app, but the Wi-Fi is bad and I can't get cellular. And so I got to go outside or something. So I'm going to show you how to turn that back on. So the trick is to go into your user settings and then go down to App Store and just about, I don't know, halfway down, or I guess clear at the bottom in this case, offload unused apps. And if that's toggled on, you can toggle it off. And the operating system won't go through and automatically archive your apps for you. Now, some people want this. They're like, you know what? I have a 16 gigabyte phone and I'm going to have one app on there. So I can't, I'll run out of space if I don't have this turned on. But hopefully you're at a point where you've zeroed in on the apps that you really want to use and you're getting rid of the ones that you don't want to use. Nate,
Unlike
I
us.
don't, I don't think that applies to you. But in my case, I'm going to leave this turned off and I'm just going to manually go through and because I can go to my storage and look to see how many or see which apps are taking up all the room. And I can just go to general and I can go to iPhone storage and it'll show me all the apps that are taking up all the room. So look, it's even offering to enable the unused apps. I don't want to do that in my particular case. This is not my main phone, so it's
I was
not
gonna
full.
say
Yeah,
32 gigs of storage. I was like, wait a second, Dave. Did you downgrade and not tell me?
no, this is my spare phone. That's the only way I can really get things to work is if I don't disconnect them every time I and take them out of the
Yeah.
house. So this phone will stay here. So anyway, disable, enable, offload unused apps. That is so elegant to say.
Yes,
If
yes.
you're tired of downloading them while you're out and about, and some people don't have good cellular plans, and it really could bite them
Yeah.
in the end. So,
Yeah. If there was a big app that you needed, I'm just going in to check and see if mine is turned. I have it turned off because I have plenty of storage on my phone, so it's not an issue. But yeah, it's one of those things to be reminded of and be aware of either way on
mm-hmm.
that one. Thank you for that.
You
And
are welcome.
everybody's favorite new segment of the podcast. It's time for just the headlines, and we're up in our game, folks. No longer will you just look at me, but we're going to check in with Dave's driveway while I read just the headlines. Microsoft is killing WordPad in Windows after 28 years.
Nobody cares.
Little recalls Paw Patrol snacks after website on packaging displayed adult material.
Spicy.
Silicon Silicon Valley elites show off renderings of exclusive new city they want to build in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
FCC says too bad to ISPs complaining that listing every fee is too hard.
Wah wah.
And those are this week's Just the Headlines.
I was going to make the quip on that one that the Paw Patrol guys should have bought the 100-year
Yes,
domain
yes,
thing
indeed.
because it's no fun for anybody to send kids to adult websites. So
No,
there you go.
no. Yes. And producer Todd says we need to insert the Dave Drone video into the middle of the street for driveway cam. Yes, I was thinking that we need to make GIFs of Todd's NPC video for all of our sounders and just have those pop up on the screen. We're
Mm.
creating a lot of work for you, Dave.
Oh
So
boy, I
we'd
can't
have
even
Todd
switch to the right
dancing all over
camera.
the thing.
I
So
got
many
way too much
options.
going on. Was there
Yes,
anything
yes,
else in
indeed.
there about Chelsea's waving to us? Did you mention that?
Oh, hello,
Hi, Chelsea.
Chelsea from Parts
Oh,
Unknown.
oh, 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 we have action. We got action.
Oh,
Oh,
you
someone with
missed it?
dogs just drove or walked by with them.
Dogs
Shoot.
drove by?
Well,
Oh man,
they were
that would have
walking
been
by.
amazing footage if we
Maybe
had some
they'll
dogs driving by.
maybe they'll walk back. I need to keep an eye on that and I'll switch. If you notice it switches immediately, it's because there's
Yeah.
action happening.
I
So
should I
that was
should
kind of
send
disappointing.
Chelsea and Isla down there some week and they can have a tea party with Val in the driveway while
Yeah.
I do just the headlines.
Yeah, they can just sit there and wave at the camera.
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, let us move on to our takes of the week. With an Apple event next week, this is the slowest of the slow and Labor Day and everything else. Not a lot of um, tech news going on, but I did find a couple stories. One of them is actually from the Apple's developer website, and they've got a little article with some insights into the Apple Vision Pro labs. Um,
That's
and
messed
that
up.
is the, I was
Yeah,
going to say
it's
that is
messed up.
not the right link, but
At the risk
um,
of um, crashing the browser, let's
yes,
try to switch the application again and see if it comes back in here. So 3, 2, 1. That looks
there
right,
we
eh?
go. Oh,
There
and
we
that
go.
is so weird. You have light mode turned on, and I've got dark mode. And I did
Hmm.
just notice that the photo there that they have of two very happy Apple people with somebody next to them in Apple Vision Pro, the guy in the yellow shirt really looks like Mark from the Mark and Todd cast.
He kind of
So I don't know if
does.
he's moonlighting on the Apple Vision Pro team. Um,
Hmm. He is a
but
web developer, so maybe.
yeah, maybe he's down there in Cupertino. But so what they've done at Apple is they've set up what they're calling the Vision Pro Labs, and they're inviting developers to come and be able to experience test their apps on the Vision Pro and kind of this guided experience at Apple so the developers can get feedback, Apple can get feedback, and they can really test some of this stuff out. And I actually heard podcasts, I think it was the talk show had
Hmm.
David Smith from what's his
Isn't it
company's
Simmons?
name?
They're the guys that
Uh,
do uh
oh, CEO
the
of Flexibits.
yeah, they do the calendar.
Yes, Fantastical, but the audible gasp of seeing their app for
Yeah.
the first time in Vision Pro. So we haven't talked about that much since it was announced, and it's not coming out till quote unquote early next year,
Hmm.
whatever that means, and is going to be real expensive. But it is interesting to see that they're doing this, and uh, everybody that uses it says it is pretty stinking amazing. So I'm excited for them to release that and hopefully be able to pick one up.
Yes, and our producer Todd says that Mark does stock photography on the side, so maybe he
Oh,
slipped that in there. You
yes,
never know.
indeed.
And
Yes, indeed.
he said they replaced Todd with a more diverse cast member. And
Yes.
remind me who WPR
And that is friend of the show
2004?
Wes, who we mentioned
Okay.
earlier with the video we're hoping to release this
Yeah.
week. So welcome in, Wes.
He says, "Hey guys."
Hey guys. Our next one, you probably want to go spend a lot of time on this. Pentagon's new UFO website lets you explore declassified sightings info. Eventually, people will be able to submit their own reports of unidentified anomalous phenomena. Phenomena.
Do 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 do.
Phenomena.
Um, you may have heard me sigh before I opened this. It's just one of these things. Guys, I hate to tell you, all this crap that's out there with UFOs and whatever, it's just classified government stuff. And they're like, yeah, it's aliens. Yeah, that's what it is. If that's what we can get you to believe. Anyway, that's my hot take. But
Your
there are a
hot
lot of
take. So
people
you
out
can
there who have,
find the actual site at aaro.mil. Oh, that was what. Thank you for that web address, Pentagon, because .mil was the one that was being spoofed by the
mm,
African country that I was mentioning earlier.
mm,
But the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. Let's get a
arrow.
job there.
And it looks like they've gone back to 1995 to make their website here. In
uh,
what was before WordPress, and Dreamweaver. It's a Dreamweaver site
yes.
here.
I do think it's interesting. At the very bottom of the website, they have hosted by Defense Media Activity, web.mil, with a little banner and link to the Veterans Crisis Line. So I don't know if there's a direct correlation between UFO research and veteran crises,
I'm not
but
sure.
yes, I'm guessing that's just probably their part of their government footer there. But yeah,
Hmm.
apparently they've got under the cases official UAP, which is what they're calling them now, the UAPs, which is the unidentified anomalous
Really?
phenomena. Yeah, that's the one.
Unidentified anomalous phenomena?
Yeah, instead of unidentified flying objects. Come on, people.
Yeah, I thought it was unidentified aerial phenomena, but I guess it's
Yeah,
anomalous. So
yeah, I
this may
think they're
be because
going
there's
beyond
underwater
just the
stuff.
aerial,
Yeah.
but they've only got a couple videos there. So, yeah, lots of information. Another distraction to go look and see what the UFOs or the UAPs or whatever we call
Hmm.
them today are. Uh, and what might the government be distracting us from? Might be this next story. The IRS can't find millions of sensitive tax records.
Yeah, so what makes them
Uh,
sensitive? I didn't take a look at this article.
So the IRS cannot locate thousands of microfilm cartridges containing millions of sensitive individual and business tax account records, according to a watchdog report.
Hmm.
So it contains backups of tax records as required under federal law from fiscal year 2010, that were originally stored at a processing center in Fresno, California. The
Hmm.
cartridges were meant to be among other records that were shipped to another processing center in Kansas City, Missouri last February after the California location closed. The watchdog found 7 empty boxes, which could hold up to 168 cartridges total. So, yeah, they
Maybe
just,
they're just in another box, though. You
yeah,
know,
check another
don't
box.
don't don't assume malice when
Yes.
people who are idiots could be the blame.
Yes, yes. And it said the last sentence of the article, the backup cartridges are meant to be destroyed after 30 years for individual tax records and 75 years for business tax records. So even though they tell you not to keep
Wow.
yours, they're keeping their copy for a
Oh,
long
forever.
time.
And it's in a computer that's the NSA can see, so
Yes,
it's all there.
easily searchable database. But the fact that they are on microfilm is interesting as well. I guess if they're from 2010, they
Yeah.
hadn't transitioned to cassette tape or something, whatever they're probably using now. Uh, well, and another security and
Facts.
privacy story, one of the ones that we like. Benevolent hackers clear stalking spyware from 75,000 with a T phones. The
Yeah, that's
unnamed hackers
awesome.
targeted spyware from firm Web Detective. I believe that's Web Detective, or
Oh,
maybe it
web
is Web Detective.
detective.
What the Web Detective? Because, and they used a hashtag that we will not repeat on the show because it includes inappropriate words.
It does.
But yes, so the spyware software, and it does, they use Web Detective, no C in there, throughout the articles. Maybe that was the company and maybe why it was malware, because they were able to get that name.
I see.
Compromised more than 76,000 devices belonging to customers of the stalkerware and more than 1.5 gigabytes of data freed from app servers, according to the hackers.
Hmm.
So,
Well, good on them. I do like
yes.
benevolent hackers. They
Yes,
can
yes, we do. More of those
undo.
benevolent hackers. And I've got a little security and privacy follow up in my hands.
Oh, I don't have a
If you
sounder for
look
both. Ugh.
there, I got a letter from PH Tech.
Hmm.
And you might remember this story from a month or so ago. No, Notice of data breach. We are writing to inform you of a recent incident that affected the security of your personal information, which is managed with PH Tech in coordination with Capital Dental Care and HealthShare of Oregon. As part of our collaboration with your health plan, we use a third-party software file transfer application called Progress Move It. And and further down the letter, what information was involved? Your first and last name, date of birth, social security number, demographic information, member and plan ID number, email address, authorization information, diagnosis, diagnosis and procedure codes, claim and billing information.
Wow. So
So,
everything.
yes. And what do I get out of it? Activate credit monitoring, which I don't believe helps anyways. So, come on.
Hmm. What a mess.
And I apologize, I've got a little tickle in my throat. But
Producer
let us move
Todd's,
on to our
I was gonna say,
bonus.
no, no, not
Oh,
yet, not yet. Producer Todd
not yet.
says aerial anomalous phenomenon is the new vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerable.
You have to
Vulnerable.
practice.
Yes. Well, let us move on to our bonus odd take as I shred that letter from PH Tech Health. Uh, the headline of this article from The Guardian: Fish doorbells, historic sandwiches, 50 of the weirdest, most wonderful corners of the web picked by an expert, which I think we need to do this article because I would consider us experts of finding weird corners of the internet. Um,
Absolutely.
but
Starting
this
out at
author,
notnerd.com.
Emma Beddington, put together 50 different unique, different websites, and I think a couple of them we've actually had as bonus odd takes. There's a mention of Kotkey where I get a lot of them from,
Hmm.
but there was one that further down the page that I thought was pretty interesting. If I can get down there, there's 50 of them, so that's a lot. Um, Lightning Maps is on there. Useless Farm. Man, I cannot remember. I'm keep going and going.
Hmm.
Uh, this makes for riveting
Yeah, what
podcast.
are you looking for specifically?
I forget what it was. I probably should have made a note.
I
There's the
I
how
wish
many
I had
people are in
mosquito
space
cam.
right now.
Oh, oh, hold on. I got him.
Got the mosquito.
Killed that
Woo!
sucker. Dead.
Nice,
Dead.
nice.
He was
Is the
big.
moon? We're only 1 pixel. Man, there are
Sandwiches of
so many
history.
of them on here. I thought there was one that really jumped out at me, but apparently not. But it is a fun list, and we'll have a link in the show notes to go over there and check Owl in a Box, Surprised Eel Historian.
There is so much here. I mean, it could take you an hour to go through all of these.
Yes, yeah, it's so I read through them, and there was definitely a couple that I recognized. Explore wonderful wildlife webcams. Uh, it is really cool to see all these different things and find some fun stuff. They have the Library of Congress,
Hmm.
which I don't know that the Library of Congress would necessarily be a weird corner of the internet,
They have
but
some weird stuff in there, though.
yes, yeah, that is true. That is true. But yeah, go over there. The link's in the show notes. Fish doorbells, historic sandwiches, 50 of the weirdest, most wonderful corners of the web, which I think we could have made a better list, but there's still some good stuff in there.
I mean, I guess we can try.
We could try. We'll do a video. Let's do a video of the 50th weirdest corners of the web.
Yeah,
We'll
there's
get
nothing that could go
right on
wrong there.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Well, you know what we actually will get onto right now? Our picks of the week.
Okay. So, Nate, I don't think I talked to you about this. There,
I don't
there,
think you have.
there are these things that I've been wanting for the longest time. Rode, RODE, is a company that makes little microphones. You can stick one here, and
Yes.
there's a receiver on your camera. DJI came out with one that was better, and then a couple other companies came out with some other ones that improved on that, and then DJI still hasn't done a version 2 as far as I know. Uh, there were a couple other brands. I can't remember this one. Hollyland makes several. Uh, and I actually bought a Hollyland one, tried it,
Yeah.
decided it's not the one for me, even though they made a more expensive one. And when I was about ready to purchase the more expensive one, I was like, wait, this one is about the same price and it's got all the features I want. And of course, I'm talking about the the full aim
Oh, full
the
aim.
full
One of
aim
our, oh,
wireless
FULAIM.
lavalier.
Full with
Microphone.
one L. Yes.
Yes, everybody knows FULAIM. But what it is this microphone pack. It's got
Yes. Look at those flashing lights.
yeah, two individual mic packs with dead cat little attachments if you were out in the wind that you can put on there. But it's got a microphone on top. It's got an audio input port so that you could put a lav mic on there. It's got a magnetic clip and a physical spring clip so that you can attach it to your body. Uh, and it's got built-in recording and will record on
Ooh,
the device.
nice.
This is the
That's
receiver. It also will store. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It doesn't. This does not restore the record. Your camera would record because this hooks into your camera. But
okay.
having the onboard recording for the two mics is invaluable because what if something happens? What if your camera dies? What if it's too far away and loses signal? You've always got that backup. And it's got little attachments to where you can put these guys. Let me get it out here. I know this for those who are listening on radio. What I'm talking about are little USB-C and Lightning connectors
Yes.
that you can put on the receiver to put it right into your cell phone,
Oh,
your Android
nice.
or your iPhone, and you turn on your video camera app, you hit record, and it'll pick these guys up. Test, test, test. You can see the little view meters going there as I
Yes.
talk. Um, and it all comes in this wonderfully ripped off case from the other manufacturers, primarily Hollyland. They've pretty much ripped off the design of the case. But if you look close, you see those four dots up in the top of the
Oh,
lid?
yes.
Those are UV lights that are supposed to disinfect the
Oh, the
things.
microphone.
Yeah, it is total overkill and probably not even effective. It only does the top part. Everything else is inside the case, but
Yes.
uh, and it has a built-in battery. It's a little heavy actually. That will charge all of the devices. You can charge them individually, or you can use the battery in the case with a USB-C port to charge the case. So when you're done with your little event, you stick them back in the box and they will sanitize themselves and charge for the next use. So anyway, I bought these for a specific thing. It didn't really work out when I was using them for the thing, but now I have them. Uh, and that's a little pro tip. Don't buy technology the day before you need to use it
Ah,
because you might want to practice with it and learn how to
yes.
use it. So that's a little pro tip in and of
Well,
itself. But yeah,
very cool. And we definitely need to do a comparison video because I have something very similar from our
what?
friends at Small Rig.
Hmm. What
And
is this?
this opens up somewhere and it has a
Oh,
very similar setup there. It has USB
okay.
charging, and then it also has a USB
Oh,
cable,
built in.
USB-A cable. But I purchased this a while ago. I've used it a little bit, but we should definitely do a breakdown because I looked yours up and they're very similarly priced. Now, I do have, you mentioned the originals, the Rode,
Mm-hmm.
and that is plastic on the cover there.
That
That is
plastic is
not
meant to come
actual
off,
scratches.
but yeah.
Yes, but I have that as well, but it was just the single and the newer ones. But I apologize for my throat, but I clicked on a couple ads for these on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
to look into them, and I will confirm your suspicion that there are a lot of brands that have these
Yes,
now.
there
A
are.
lot.
Yeah, my FULAIM X5 wireless is I what I was doing is I was looking on YouTube for a review of the Hollyland, and Hollyland, they're a pretty good brand. I mean, they seem like a cheap Chinese knockoff, but they kind of invented this whole case thing.
Hmm.
They were the first ones
Yeah.
to kind of do it. And they also make some high-end stuff for like pro venues, like a microphone headset system. So they're not to be trifled with. Um, But as I was looking up the reviews online, someone reviewed this, and I was like, oh, they got paid to, you know, FULAIM shipped it to them. But they
Yeah.
started talking about them and comparing them to like the other models, and I'm like, those are actually pretty good. So I was gonna try them.
Yes.
So I didn't come across the small rig. Do they also have
Yes,
onboard
and when
recording?
I purchased it, it was when they were first releasing it, so they had it on a severe discount.
Hmm.
And now I get ads. Newer also has
Yeah,
some,
I
one of
saw
our other
theirs.
favorite brands. But yeah, we should take both of our sets out, the small rig and yours,
Hmm.
and do a comparison just to see, check it all out, because I would be very interested in how they perform in the real
Yeah.
world.
And I
So.
wanted the DJI one, but they're twice as expensive, so
Yeah, that
not
was
worth
the
it.
thing. These ones are in the $130
Hmm.
range, whereas the DJI ones are like 300
They're
bucks, I
they're
think. So,
330 is what I saw.
yeah. And Todd chimed in with, was there a USB B? Is that like the B size battery that nobody ever hears about? And I am not aware of a USB B connector. Are
I
you?
think I think there's USB-C, Type A, and I think the printer port. So there's Type A, and then there's the D-shaped end. I think that's the B side. There's A,
Ah,
B, and then there's micro. I could be wrong. They all have ISO numbers, and you can designate them by USB ISO,
oh yes.
48927. But I think that the D side of your printer cable is USB B, I think.
Yes, I am looking at Wikipedia,
Hmm.
and it says, the rectangular one that we're most used to is type A.
Right.
There's mini A, which I don't
Yeah.
recognize, micro A, which I don't recognize,
Well, micro and
and then
mini are the
there's
ones
type
you're familiar
B.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, type B, which is the printer side, mini B, which is the one that kind of looks like a hat, and then micro B. So
Okay,
there
those are
is actually a
B's.
B. It's the other end
Yeah.
of the connectors that we've been used to. But with
Yeah.
C, you just have the same connector on both sides,
It's
which is
both.
so nice. And
And it's
hopefully
also,
coming to the iPhone next week.
yes, and it's also for Thunderbolt, not to be confused.
Yes, it's still confusing, but at least you only have one connector and it works both directions.
Yeah.
So,
My most
yes.
confusing one is that you can get USB-C cables that have USB 2 in them, even
Yes.
though USB-C is USB 3, but you can get old A cables that support 3 as well. It's confusing. It
It
really
is
is.
very confusing. Well, let us move on to my pick of the week, which is much less confusing.
Oh, okay.
And it is a game. I'm
Mm,
taking your realm here, Dave. And it is a game. Have you heard of Laya's Horizon?
it does not sound familiar to me.
So I saw an article about this. I went and downloaded it, and it's actually part of Netflix games. So if you have a Netflix
Okay.
subscription, you download this game and you can install it.
How
And
do you
I'll,
spell it?
whoa, it's definitely playing sounds through my computer there. Mute tab. No.
There it is.
Oh, it's on my phone. Where is the sound coming from? I will drop a link in the show notes for you there. Uh,
I found it on my
but
phone, but here, let me switch over to my view here real quick, and I can pull it up.
yes, so this is made by Snowman, built by snowman.com. Now, you might not recognize that name, but they created Alto's Odyssey and
Oh
Alto's
yeah.
Adventure. Very popular games on iPhone and other just very, I think, previous picks of the week. Just very relaxing, beautiful games. Well, this takes that idea and puts it in a three-dimensional world of flying through the air and gliding and collecting things. So
Hmm.
I started playing it some. It is just a fun little game, and if you liked Alto's Adventure or Odyssey, this is the same people and just brings a whole new dimension to it.
Interesting. I have this one called Fly or a wing. I think it's called wing for the Switch, and it's kind of this low poly type of look. And you're a bird, and you just fly around these different horizons. So it's very similar to what I'm seeing here on this.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, you can only get this through Netflix Games, so you have to be a Netflix subscriber in order to download this. Is that how that
Yes, so
works?
what you do is you download the game on iOS or Android, and then when you open the game, you sign into Netflix. And I was looking
Okay.
through the Netflix site, and they have quite a few games in there um, that are part of the Netflix gaming. So I know we talked about it when they first announced it, but hadn't followed up too much. So I saw this one. It's a really nice little game, and you should go check it out, especially if you're a
Uh,
Netflix subscriber. Ooh, they have Balloons TD6 through Netflix Gaming.
hmm,
Okay, sorry, Candy Crush. I might be playing some other games through
interesting.
Netflix Gaming. Who knew it would actually be a thing?
Who knew? Yeah, they've spent a lot of time and money making it happen, but
Yes. They were hoping, and I don't know yet that it will catch on that much, but it is nice if you have Netflix to have access to some games. I know not everybody has Apple Arcade as part of their iCloud bundle or whatever. So a lot of people have Netflix, and if you're
hmm
looking for some higher quality games, you can go through Netflix Gaming. I'm guessing, like Apple, yeah, it says right there, no ads, no extra fees, no in-app purchases, which if you have kids, that's especially nice, but also as an adult to not have ads or be tempted for in-app purchases.
I hate ads. I don't know if you knew that
Yes.
about me.
Yes, yes, indeed. They are not great. I see a lot of bad ads in some of the games I play, but
This
I've learned
one
to
weird
ignore most of
trick
them.
that everybody should do to get better hearing. This one
Yes.
weird trick that everybody should do for better sight. Like two spoons knocking on each other. What is this? Who writes these
Yeah,
ads?
I don't know. There are some
Uh,
really bad ads that people are spending money to show you, and I don't know how effective they are. You would hope that if they're spending money on advertising, it's working, but I don't know.
yeah, crazy,
I don't
crazy,
know.
crazy.
Well, with that, it's kind of weird not doing now that all repicks August is over, where we're each doing 3 picks a week. Feels weird to just do 1 pick a week, but we had 2 good ones here,
Yeah,
and with my voice continuing to fade out. I think that means it is time to wrap up this episode.
it
Thank you so
is.
much for those of you that joined us live. That's always a fun time. You can chime in the chat, but you can always watch it later on YouTube, which is a great way because now that we're doing video, we're much more likely to do visual effects that make it better. But also, we're putting the podcasts out every week because there are a lot of people that just love listening to podcasts, and so it
Yeah,
still works that way too.
I looked at the analytics the other day. There are literally tens of people still listening on the audio, so we
Yeah,
really need to keep
we
doing that.
are we are bumping up those stats. We're in the tens, really. I didn't know we were that
Well,
high.
multiples of tens.
Multiples of tens.
Yeah, it's not
Sheesh.
quite 100, but
Wow.
it's kind of in the middle there.
Time to retire the day job.
I know.
Yes,
Uh,
well, I am thankful to all our listeners, and we do love it when you share it with a friend. Every new listener or viewer is appreciated because really, we're just trying to help everybody get out there and tech better.
that's right. See ya.
Peace.